What's good, y'all? Tristan here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 8 strange things I've noticed about America after living abroad for a year. I feel like anytime you leave your home country for an extended period of time and then come back, you just don't quite see everything the same way you used to. There's some things that you used to think were very normal that you realize might not be so normal, and some things that you might just not have noticed before. And today I'm going to be sharing all those with you. Now, the first thing I noticed about America and Americans is our passion behind our politics. Americans are so passionate about their political opinions, whether it's always posting it on their social media or just how they converse. I find it way harder in America to talk about politics. The conversations get quickly heated, especially if it's someone that you disagree with. Having a casual conversation with someone that is from the opposite political side as you really isn't something that happens in America. We are way more likely to not be friends with someone because of their political opinions, like especially coming from Australia, where people are very laid back about their politics. I never saw a heated argument there. I'd often see people in the same group that didn't share the same political opinion, but that did not inhibit their friendship at all. And I think my new opinion on this, now that I'm back, is that our passion behind our politics is not really a good thing. It's toxic and often blinding, and it's just super intense here in the States. Now, number 2 is our sales tax, or GST is what it's often called. So I knew, like, in America, there's a sticker price and then there's a tax on top of that, where if something says it's $10 in Australia, it's gonna be $10 when you pay for it. This never bothered me. Like, I didn't care about this at all growing up. But after being in a place where, like, it's always, the tax is included in the price, oh my god, this frustrates me so much about the States. Literally, right when I landed in the States, I was still in the airport. I went to go get some chips and salsa. It was $2.50, and I get to check out, or to pay, and they're like, oh, it'll be like $2.79 or something like that. And I was like, oh, but like, it says $2.50 up there. And the lady looked at me like she had to think I was a total idiot and was just like, yeah, but like, you know, tax. Oh, I felt so dumb. But that is not the only time that's happened. It is continued to happen here. I totally forget about sales tax and that it's added on top. But I will say I have a little bit more sympathy now for you foreigners who come to America. Our sales tax is so annoying, and I finally get it. Now, number 3 is the size of our people. And alright, I need to explain this a bit. So, first of all, Australia is not the healthiest country by any means. It is, the obesity rate there, I believe, is like 29%, and in America it's like 33%, so somewhat comparable. You know, we're close. America's a little bit more fat. But what I mean about the size of our people is that in Australia, like, this is like what an obese person looks like, and like, obviously in America, like, that's an obese person. But when you see them, you're not like, oh dang, like, you're fat. Like, no, you walk by them like you wouldn't think anything of it. In America, we have this next level of obese people, like, walking around. Like, our obese people, our really obese people, are so much bigger than y'all's obese people. Like, we got people like this where you see them and like, you can't help, like, but the first thing you think when you see them is like, damn, like, you're big, it's bad. Like, I just didn't see really anyone like that in Australia, and it is a pretty common thing to see people that big here in the States. And number 4 is the amount of giant corporations we got, the big chains, the franchises, just these big corporations that you see all throughout the States, or at least all throughout the state you're in. They dominate retail markets. I was Christmas shopping and I was in a parking lot and I was looking around and I could see like 20, 25 stores from where I was at, and literally every single one was some sort of giant corporation business. It's just not that way in Australia and other countries. Like, yes, there are tons of big companies, but they don't seem to dominate, to monopolize the retail industry and fast food industry and, I don't know, and restaurant industry as much as they do in the States. And now number 5 is, for the first time in my life, I've really noticed our huge income gap. So when I went to Australia, I did notice that there was less people living under the poverty line. The lower economic class there seemed to fare better than it did in America, but I didn't realize the stark difference between our rich and our poor. And I'm not just talking like our insane amount of homeless people, but I'm talking about, like, there are so many people in America who are really struggling to pay their bills. You're driving around and you'll go from a super wealthy or rich or even middle class neighborhood to just one that is completely underserved. Just knowing where I'm from, like, there are roads where you drive and it's like, this side's good, this side no, might not want to go over there. Not only did I not see this drastic of a difference between high and low income areas in Australia, every country I've been to, I've never seen as drastic of a change as I have in the States. But I also haven't been to some places like South Africa. But I did look into this because I wanted to know where the States rank as far as income gap goes, and we were ranked 51st for the largest income gap, which at first I was like, alright, 51st isn't that bad. But then I realized, I was looking at the countries around us, and you'll see that the countries surrounding us in that area are like third world, underdeveloped countries, like not countries that you want to strive to be more like. And if you look at other Western developed countries and how they're doing in the wealth income gap, and you'll see most of them are ranked more around the 100 to 150 range. Now number 6 is a really kind of weird one, small one, but it's so tacky and dumb, and I've never noticed it until I came back. But that is, when you go to restaurants, particularly Mexican restaurants, you'll see in the front of them, there's often like gumball machines or little toy dispensers, and you put some quarters in there, you turn it, and you get something. But I just look at them, and like, they're so ugly, they're so tacky, I don't know why we have them, and I don't know, if I had a restaurant, I would not include this in it, but I've never seen this anywhere else besides the States, and I didn't even realize I didn't like that they're weird until I came back. Number 7, and guys, you'll understand me on this one, but that is the water levels in our toilets, but not like I've known that, like I mentioned that in many videos before, but I'm mentioning it for a whole new reason in this video, and that is because us guys, when we're peeing, we don't like peeing directly into the water. Like, it makes a lot of noise, so we aim for the side of the toilet, or not the side, like still in the bowl, but in the bowl between the water and like the rim. It's way quieter, and just, I don't know, if you're not a guy, just trust me on this one, alright? Well, in Australia, there's like, this much water in the bottom of the toilet, and the bowl's like this big, so you have like that much water, that much toilet, like, you got a lot of area to aim for. Well, I come back here, and this is the toilet I'm peeing in, alright? We got like this much water, and like that's the toilet size. Your margin for error is so much smaller. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but yeah, when you're peeing in our toilets, if you want to be quiet, pee in stealth mode, you gotta be way more accurate. And number 8 is, I feel like America and Americans are just a lot more wasteful than Australians and other countries I visited. And this really goes across the board in many ways. Like, our cars are huge, lots of big trucks, we drive a lot. Like, that's one aspect of it. We consume a ton of energy. But also just, I feel like our recycling habits aren't quite as good, and we use a lot of disposable stuff like paper plates, napkins, styrofoam cups. Like, I just see that so much more here than I did back in Australia. Overall, the care for the environment just doesn't seem to be as great as it was in Australia, but I don't know, it obviously does not apply to all Americans. This varies a lot throughout America, and even what state you're in. So I'm in Texas right now, so that could be a reason for it. But overall, I just noticed that I feel like we're a little bit more wasteful than I realized before seeing how it could be done. If you could relate to any of these guys, please give this video a big old thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.